Luke, why the hell have you brought a giant blue box into the office?
That, Dave, isn't just any old blue box.
Hello and welcome to the last ever episode of Britcast. I'm David Birch, one of your hosts, and I'm joined by a man who's been on takeaway hunger strike since it was decided he would not play the 12th Doctor, Mr. Luke Riley.
Good day, one and all.
How you doing, Luke? You okay?
Not bad, not bad.
All exciting times, last ever Britcast.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, it's a lot of ways exciting because this is our last show, but for anybody listening, we will be moving to a new home. We'll be keeping the Twitter feed the same. But what we'll do is we'll let you all listen to the show before we sort of reveal what's going to be happening with us. But it's all good. We're going to bigger and better places. The team will be staying together. And all the crazy shenanigans that Luke generally brings to the table and I dissect will remain.
It's the flock habits to blame.
It's a deer stalker.
It's not a deer stalker. That is innocent.
The deer stalker and your recent affliction for smoking a pipe as well, I have been told on the grapevine.
Yes, indeed. The grapevine is true. This is true.
Yeah, that's when you know things are getting out of hand. But I still put down the reason why you only watched Mad Max for the first time recently. That is because the deer stalker you've got is obviously restricting blood flow to your brain.
Yes, indeed. It took someone 5 years younger than me to recommend Mad Max. It took someone who was born when I just got my first SNES to recommend a film that was made before I was born.
That's a special kind of worrying, really. That is. When you tweet watching Mad Max for the first time, I looked at the tweet and I thought, my God, it's like it's 15 years ago.
And the previous week to that, I'd only just seen First Blood for the first time as well, so it's been an interesting few weeks of old cinema.
Have you been on a Rambo Rampage or anything like that? Gone through all of them yet?
I haven't gone through all of them because I know I've seen. Well, that's the thing. I've seen 2 and 3, but not the first one, which I know is TNS. But
you see, you need to,
If you want a war, you want to believe. That's what he says. It's good for him.
You need to watch the last one, the most recent one they've done as well. That one's actually.
I've seen that. One. I think I've seen all of them.
Season 2, 3, and 4, but not 1.
Yes.
The only one that was based on a book.
The only one that was actually decent.
Yeah.
That's the one actually acted, not just was walking around relying on his stature just to kind of throw people away.
Giving it. That's a great impression. That's why you're the actor and I'm not.
That's how he does in his films. Adrian!
That's Rocky. Have you seen Rocky?
I've seen them for all. Bridget Nielsen and that epic Russian hairstyle, but that's about it. And then there's I have seen the latest one, mind. The one is it a simulation he fights or something?
I haven't. That's the one I haven't seen. See, we're getting ourselves in nuts here now. Should we talk about some games?
Let's do this.
I think we'll start with Xbox One. Apparently, the Xbox One has been delayed. Started off with a few rumours earlier on today. I know Luke had a mild panic attack, didn't you, when you heard this?
What's this?
You didn't, did? The Xbox being delayed.
Oh, no, not in the UK, so therefore I'm not really bothered.
Oh, right, cool. I did sense a slight waiver when the news sort of started flooding around. But yeah, apparently the original 21 markets that Xbox One was going to be launching in around the world, well, there's several countries even, that have been pushed back into early 2014.
Those incorporated.
Exactly. Belgium, Denmark, Finland, the Netherlands, Norway, Russia, Sweden and Switzerland will all have to wait till Q1 2014 for their release.
That's brutal.
And it's not going to be January or February. A lot of people pointing it towards right at the end of Q1. It could be March.
It's always the end. If a game says release of summer, it's always like 31st of September or something ridiculous.
Yeah, it's always bookend at the end. But there's a few rumours floating around as well that these territories that are going to have to wait the extra period compared to the rest of us, they will actually get a free game. So anybody listening knows you want to keep an eye on that and see if Microsoft keep their promise, because you're going to get a free copy of Forza is what's going to happen. Like, I think that's pretty much a guarantee. If it's a free game, it will be Forza.
You think it'll be Forza?
I've just got this sneaky feeling. Forza 4 was bundled in with so many Xboxes, wasn't it, when it was launched? And Forza 3 was in. You used to be able to get Forza 3 and Viva Pinata. Remember that? It
Yeah.
was on. There was 2 discs in that split
Yes.
box.
Unfortunately, my mind has experienced that game.
Exactly.
It's
Well,
like watching the prequels of the Star Wars. It's like, oh, that happened.
Viva Pinata is alive and well in our household, and my partner's Xbox, she loves it. So yeah, she's got a fully fledged garden, and she's out there playing games. She does play Halo, but then when she likes to kick back with a bit of Viva Pinata.
Cool.
Cool. The 13 territories that aren't affected, however, are Australia, Austria, Brazil, Canada, France, Germany, Ireland, Italy, Mexico, Spain, United Kingdom, the United States, and New Zealand. They all remain the same. It's going to be around the November time launch. There was a tweet out from Microsoft saying it's not delayed everywhere, it's just a little bit, it's only half of the territories pretty much of what we said. And you can expect more firm confirmation of our releases around the Gamescom event, which is coming up. So I got a sneaky feeling they're going to just announce it at Gamescom. They wouldn't say there might be an announcement at Gamescom. I think because of this, they will announce firm dates for the territories they're going to be supplying. And as well, I don't know if any of the listeners out there, Luke, did you spot what happened when Call of Duty Ghosts on Xbox One popped up on several websites, including Microsoft, saying released the 5th of November?
What, this year?
Yeah. So
that's early in the month.
But that's a good sign, though, because Microsoft and all the other sites that are direct purchasers from Microsoft were told to pull that advertisement immediately, and Microsoft took it down themselves. So I think when that leak went out, ladies and gentlemen, that we could be seeing an Xbox One around the 5th of November to coincide with their wonderful long-standing partnership with Activision's new game.
Grab your wallets and your running shoes, because them shopping centres be stormed.
Exactly. So, we're talking now as we're recording, and I don't know if you watched it, Luke. I sat down and watched all the Call of Duty Ghosts multiplayer release.
You could say it ghosted on by. I didn't watch it.
Oh, dear.
I didn't watch it. I seen, COD's happening. Oh, COD's happening. COD's happened. That was it.
And it's gone. I did watch it, and the one thing that interested me quite, there's a friend of mine, he plays COD religiously, and his brother does all the time. And I spoke to one of them while it was going on. He said to me, with the way the next generation is looking, all those games we saw at E3, and the possibilities of the new consoles, it just looks the same to him now. The engine looks nice and tidy, and everything looks good, but the destructible environments, it's all predetermined. So when logs fall from a certain area, or when this coach falls off a cliff, it just always happens at the same point. And he made a good point in saying, once you've played that map 9,000 times when you're on your way to your 10th or 20th prestige, whatever they cap it at, you will have seen that so many times it will become nothing. And then when you flip it over to something like what Battlefield has with the destructibility and that and all the stuff that can happen, he goes on par. He's moving over to the Battlefield camp. Now, I was quite surprised with that. I nearly actually had to get the concussion checked out when I fainted and hit the floor, because he's a guy that is forever going on about Call of Duty being the best game and the best first-person shooter. And, yeah, I don't think it looks it. I have played some of them, but, Call of Duty 43, I think I'm going to give it a miss.
Well, I'm gonna give it a miss, that's for sure. I'm not bothered in the slightest about Call of Duty.
You know?
Nope.
You're going to go for Battlefield then?
Not sure.
Yeah, no, I think I'm going to go for Battlefield. That's going to be, we're going to discuss what consoles we're buying a bit later on, but Battlefield will be on my launch list, shall we say. I think the way I'm looking at my shooters for the next year will be Battlefield, get a bit bored of that, Titanfall comes out, when I get a bit bored of that, I'm suspecting Halo will be out at the end of next year. So, I remember this when Halo was talked about, I believe on Jeff Keighley, when he was talking to somebody, said, there's more information about Halo, and the guy from Xbox said, well, ordinarily, Halo always has 2 E3s, which means that it has to be released before June 2015 then, doesn't it?
Yes, but usually, so you had Battlefront 3 and Halo, they were kind of just CGI teaser trailers, nothing much happened, nothing much given away.
Yeah.
Which usually means Battlefront's out in 2 years. And I think Halo will be out. Halo 4 was out 18 months after it was announced at E3, so I'm assuming it's the same time scale may apply for this one.
So that's November
I think
2014
so,
then.
definitely.
I think there'll be a bit of a breather gap. I mean, it's interesting you said like Battlefront 3. Well, I know it's been said by EA, they're looking to coincide the launch of that game with the launch of the new film. So I reckon we could be seeing, quarter 2 2015. I'd say that's a good area to put a pin in for
I
the
can
new
tell you, I
Star
can
Wars
tell you
film.
this now though. Battlefront 3 might be out when the new films are out, but my excitement for the new Star Wars films means I'm going to be sitting in the corner of a room, shaking, not playing anything, just kind of frozen with excitement. It's going to be ridiculous. Because if Han Solo, if any of the old actors are in the film, all you're going to hear is like a nerdgasm in the cinema.
Well, have you not checked? Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher, and Mark Hamill have all confirmed.
Dave, don't mess with my emotions.
I'm not messing with your emotions. They're in it, mate. They're there.
Well, there's going to be in the cinema.
Yeah. So I'm not going to be in the same cinema as you because people are going to think strange things are happening. I'm that right.
Two pairs of pants. That's what I'm saying.
Nerd splooge. Aisle 3,
Let's
please.
play all over.
Yeah, well, that'll be happening. So yeah, Luke, imagine if you see the Millennium Falcon scream by as well in the opening sequence.
Well, my arm with the Darth Vader tattoo might just explode through overuse. Not saying anything else.
Jesus, pull it back, son. No, don't pull it back. Stop. Back away.
Next topic.
Next
Ding,
topic.
ding, ding.
Yeah, well, we're going to talk about Saints Row is on the horizon. Saints Row 4, should I say. I've been lucky enough to have a little play of that game at an event a while back.
Saints Row.
Yeah.
I've played the demo, the character creator, and that just provides itself hours of fun.
The character creator.
Oh, so good.
Design your president beforehand.
I did. I think what did I hear the other day? I had a go of it, and I made the Riddler.
Yeah.
So my friend made Cyclops. He made Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z. It's a fun little thing.
I did actually see somebody's video review go up there now where they made the Incredible Hulk.
Wow.
So they made it go green skin, and so he's when he's leaping and bounding over the buildings and smashing everything up. Thought it looked quite cool.
It's pretty cool. I think you're going to see some... It's not going to... Do you think it's going to compete with GTA? Because it is such a different kind of game.
I think they've separated themselves now from GTA. I got to actually play Saints Row 4 briefly. It was only like a 20-minute slot where I was running around the Matrix X world where I was jumping, running, leaping over buildings and smashing everything up like crazy. An event at one of our local retailers. And they bring everybody down. We've done it before. I've mentioned about with Defiance and Injustice, so I actually get to sample some games quite early, which I'm usually quite lucky with. Much that it annoys Luke because he's so far away at times.
Indeed.
Doesn't it?
Indeed,
does.
it vexes the soul.
It vexes him even more when I get cinema tickets way earlier than he does.
Well, it would vex us. Well, I suppose. Well, saying that, when it's a film like Man of Steel, I'm not really bothered because Man of Steel was a man of rust. That's what it was, basically.
Yeah, but Iron Man wasn't so rusty, and I got to see that at least a week before you. But anyway, moving back on.
Star Trek's better than Iron Man. Dun, dun, dun,
I saw that as well. Remember, I saw the double header where I saw Star Trek 1 in IMAX, and it flipped over to IMAX 3D for the second one after a short intermission.
Is what I say to that.
Yeah. Well, Saints Row 4 is out. Now, there is an edition that's coming out, which is going to cost $1 million, or roughly around £643,000, or whatever adjustment is in your territories that you're listening to. But yeah, £1 million, Luke. Would you like to know what comes in a £1 million edition of Saints Row?
I'm curious, to say the least. I think you should
Run through the list.
run through the list, as it were, like Run Man. Like, what's his name from Run Man? Is it Quaid? No.
Quaid, that's
Total Recall. When he's just like... for half an hour because he can't breathe in mass.
Your impressions of like some of cinema's greatest action heroes today have actually been on form.
Well, that's all they do. Sylvester Stallone, all he was... Imagine a conversation that you got... And then... Actually, you will be able to say that because there's a film coming out called Escape Plan with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone. Sylvester Stallone hits Arnold Schwarzenegger and Arnold Schwarzenegger says to him, "You eat like a vegetarian."
Really?
You hit like a vegetarian. I wanted to high five the telly when he said that. I was like, yes. And Arnold Schwarzenegger's got a beard. I mean, there's nothing else needs to be said.
Arnold's got a beard. He's hiding his old face.
He's got like a Walt/Eisenberg-esque beard. And he
Flipping heck.
looks like an Austrian mercenary.
He probably is.
He probably is.
Probably the idea. Right, let's move over to what $1 million buys you. $1 million edition Saints Row 4. You get a full-size replica dubstep gun, as seen in the game. You get a capsule wardrobe. I'm sure that's some fashionable, trendy thing that is completely above my head, but it sounds quite cool. A spy training day and a hostage rescue experience. You get a personal shopper to help you spend some of your money. You get a week for two at the Jefferson Hotel in Washington, D.C. 7 nights at a royal suite in a Dubai hotel. Both of the flights to Washington, D.C. and Dubai are first class. Plastic surgery up to a designated amount after your sort of assessment's done. And then we move on to the cars. You get a Toyota Prius with a year's free insurance. You get a Lamborghini Gallardo and a year's supercar membership. I like the way they're not insuring you for that, because that will be the rest of your money that you need to spend. And this is the kicker, everybody. You get a flight on the Virgin Galactic space flight.
That is the son of a whatever, because that is ridiculous.
Yeah. So you actually get a seat. You see, if you've got the money, it's worth booking that alone just so you can get a seat on the Virgin Galactic space fancy flight. You really don't sound happy about that, do you?
I'm gonna have to hunt. I'm gonna have to find the people and negotiate, cough cough, how to acquire the ticket through peaceful process.
You see, I could imagine being in the room and the look on your face when it's announced that it's Justin Bieber that bought it, and he's there waving as he's boarding his spaceship to go up there and take flight. The silence is deafening, Mr. Riley.
Unbelievable. Well, if he's on there, just
Steady.
blow the window.
Steady. You always have to sort of wind it back down, really, doesn't it? Somebody will get assassinated on every show if they're getting something that you're not getting. You see, the silence. I can hear you stewing.
People are going to space, and I'm not. Of course, I'm jealous. They're going to tread the gravity-free paths, so to speak, that Neil Armstrong's tread.
Well, he walked on the moon. I'm pretty sure.
He treaded paths in space.
Flew, probably.
You treaded paths. I'm trying to be poetic, and you're ruining it.
I'm just trying to be logical.
Nope.
You mean the path? You mean the path that he sowed in space? Is that what you're looking for?
Indeed.
And it's going to be soured by Bieber driving through there in his Ferrari in space. I mean, the guy drives a Ferrari. That's bad enough for me. I hate those cars. Anyway, let's not get hung up on the hatred for Justin Bieber. I'm sure he's a listener of the show and he loves us dearly. And if he's listening, hey, try not to be late for your fans, because they pay a lot of fucking money to go and stand there for 2 hours while you're late. Anyway, moving on. And, yeah. So some of my friends took the kids and they were waiting 2.5 hours for one of the shows. That's just not good. And I had to listen to how annoyed he was in the first place for having to take his kids to see Justin Bieber and have to stand in an auditorium with tens of thousands of other screaming girls for an extra 2.5 hours. Can you imagine how happy he was?
How long did he vent for?
It was a while, because he told me on the phone, hung up because he took the kids home, and he came round to mine a lot later on in the evening and got catastrophically drunk just to solve his problems. He didn't leave his kids unattended, by the way.
Well, you should just hire someone and find Bieber and rid the world of...
See, moving on. Somebody's got assassinated again. Right, and do you want to talk about Last of Us? Because I know that you, as like me, this is something that's going to annoy a lot of people. Luke, you've finished Last of Us, haven't you?
I have finished Last of Us, yes.
Yeah, I'm about 7-8 hours in. So I'm going to ask you, Luke, what did you think of that game, seeing as you completed it and got to see the credits?
I'm on deal. What are you doing?
What?
Credits. The Last of Us. I've seen the credits. Did you see the credits?
No, what I'm trying to say to you is, give us your opinion on. Are you even awake tonight?
I'm still thinking of space. It's all.
Right. Well, back down to earth. We're talking about The Last of Us. What was your impression of that game then, Luke? And stop reading your notes as well, because
on a technical level, I got
Yes.
notes. I don't make notes. My brain is my notebook. Um, the game on a technical level, voice acting, graphics, music, was very well done. Just the story didn't grab us as I thought it would do.
Uh-huh.
That's pretty much it. I don't.
That's your review.
When I think of I can't remember half the games I've played this year anyway. But when I think of the games I've played this year, Blast of Us doesn't stand out.
I mean, I'm of the same opinion. I've played, I think it's about 7, 8 hours now. It's probably a third of the way through. I mean, you said it was about 16 hours, wasn't it? Some people have said nearly 20.
Yeah, for me, 16. I just kind of went. I got to a certain point. I was like, all right, I got the point where I couldn't be bothered, so I just want to get finished as soon as possible.
Just to see the ending.
Yeah.
See, what my main problem was with that game was the opening sequence was okay. I don't necessarily find entertainment with kids dying, but hey, it's whatever floats your boat with media to like create emotion. It just annoyed me. See, there's reasons why I didn't play Spec Ops. Is it Cross the Line, was it, or something like that?
Back up to the line.
The Line. I mean, I actually wrote part of your review about that, didn't I? About, the women and children in warfare shouldn't necessarily be put in the medium of entertainment in games. Now, spoiler alert, at the start, something happens to a kid. Now, that didn't draw me in. I wasn't drawn in with the emotion. I think that was where you meant to... It's Joel, isn't it? I forget the names. You're meant to get drawn into Joel's situation with what happens in the first couple of scenes. Now, for me, that didn't draw me in. It kind of irritated me a bit that I was looking at that. So if I think for the outset of the game, I wasn't drawn into Joel's plight, the way it's all set up about, he's living his life. It's 2 decades later and he's getting on with things. It didn't grab me. And the emotion as well. I think it was lost on me. I mean, I'm probably just a heartless bastard. But, in fact, I am.
I didn't really care for the characters as much as I did in other games. What
Yeah.
happened at the beginning was like shocking, but then it was. Well, I didn't really care for the characters during the games. I was like, oh, please don't Joel be bitten and then horribly disfigured. I was like, whatever. I literally just thought I want to get to the end of the game.
Yeah. See, it's kind of like the way I was looking at it as well. I wasn't drawn in. I would have preferred a game which was to do with the fall, like of mankind when they're actually toppled. That chaos. See how they survived those 2 decades when society was essentially collapsing. That would have been more interesting to me. Because Ellie, half the time, I did just want to slap her in the face. I did. She really annoyed me, really did. I know the whole point of she was not born into the world that we know, and this is the only world that she's ever known, so this is the way her personality's developed, and the interaction of when she's seeing things that are in these derelict buildings and asking Joel questions is all meant to build. It was lost on me. It was. I felt like I was playing again. Like when you're watching a film and you're kind of like an hour in and you think, I don't care. Do you ever get that?
Yes. Most recently was The Great and Powerful Laws. It was so bad.
Yeah, see, there you go. That feeling you felt there was what I felt when I was playing Silent. I just couldn't be bothered. I actually laid my hands on a PlayStation just to play this. I no longer have it, and I go to play. I just couldn't bring myself to. I've got so many games to play with what we do. My back catalogue is atrocious. I think I've probably got a dozen Vita games that I need to finish off. I've probably got 5 or 6 Xbox games that I need to finish before Grand Theft Auto comes out in a matter of weeks. And then I've got to clear that before Xbox One. I haven't got time for a game which doesn't draw me in. So if haters are listening, you're going to hate, that's fine, but you play the game and I've played multiple games this year. It isn't my game of the year. Until I see how good Grand Theft Auto is, I'm sticking with BioShock Infinite. That game had more of an impact on me anyway. So there.
That game was good to play, but the only thing that really made it better than other games was the last half an hour or so.
Yeah, I think I just had a lot of buy-in when it came to buying with BioShock Infinite. I think because I played it in 2 sittings, and there was only 4 hours sleep in that break. So I was really into the characters by that point. I mean, to say that with The Last of Us, I played essentially those, 7, 8 hours in one go. They were all done within one day. And I didn't have the same buy-in with the characters as I did as I was playing BioShock. I was guessing on what was going on with the story, that those brother and sister that pop up in BioShock, I was guessing what they were about. I was running conclusions about how all this was working. I was really enjoying that experience. Now, I'm one of these people because, I mean, Luke, you write, don't you? You're working on novel as well at the moment.
Yep.
I write scripts for TV shows. So stories in games, as far as I'm concerned, a lot of them I find are quite crap. I don't find them that engaging. I just like the style of gameplay, and there's a story attached to it. BioShock's the only game this year and probably back which has really drawn me in. It's like Halo 4, one of my favourite games. The story mode's good. Like you, though, I was really tied into the emotions at the end with what happens in that.
Yes.
That was how I felt about that game, but I just enjoy the Halo gameplay, majority in the multiplayer. So, I don't know how we digressed from The Last of Us over to BioShock. Probably because it's a better game in my opinion. And we can talk about the DLC for BioShock while we're here.
It's out soon, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Where you actually get to go back to Rapture.
Oh.
Before the fall of Rapture, play as the two characters out of the BioShock Infinite, and I have a sneaky suspicion that they might be responsible for the fall of Rapture.
That would be awesome.
A nice little tie-in there.
That would be amazing.
I think that would be really good. That'll be a round of applause for Ken Levine, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, BioShock had a lot of shit, people bitching and whinging because they could only hold 2 guns. Well, you know, this is a sense of realism there. BioShock Infinite.
You got loads of stick because you're going to hold 2 guns.
Yeah, there's a couple of people. One of them we know quite well in the industry, who was sort of ratting on it a bit because you could only have 2 guns. Now, when I sat back and looked at that and heard it for the 5th time, I thought to myself, well, if you're holding all the guns on the planet, what pocket do you put them in? It's more realistic that you've got either a sight, a handgun, and a rifle, or a shotgun slung on your back with or something like that, as opposed to just cycling it through an endless inventory of gun after gun after gun. I prefer the 2-gun scenario, I do. It makes you think a bit more anyway when you're engaging in battle.
I prefer it, and like you say, it would be ridiculous if you could carry every single gun.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a game and it's not real, but it's certain. I mean, it increases the threat level. If you only have a shotgun and a pistol, you've got to decide what enemies you use that against.
Yeah. I mean, back when Halo, the original Halo, was one of the first games to do it, where you could only carry 2 guns. And one of the I forget the designer, but I've got the quote somewhere. He said the reason why we opted for only Master Chief to be able to carry 2 guns is because what we found is a lot of people would hide in a world and repeatedly cycle through the weapon inventory to find a suitable weapon. Whereas Halo Combat Evolved brought in 2 guns meant that you could just run, click one button, and there was your other gun, and it didn't break the gameplay or the flow. That's more of an experience to me than cycle.
There's games where you can press like LB and you'll have just a circle of choices, and I'm thinking, why would you?
Yeah.
It gets a bit ridiculous.
The reticle. Things like Blood Dragon, you know, Far Cry Blood Dragon. That, I understand you've got like a wheel of weapons that you can select and pick and change. Because that game's meant to be a bit crazy and all over the top.
Crazy mental.
That's so good. And another thing about pressing a button in The Last of Us, can anybody tell me, I'm willing to put it in the comment section, why Joel can see through walls?
He's Batman.
Exactly. He's got detective, he's got bat vision. He's, what the hell? He's a mutant, but he hasn't been bitten. There's all these mutants running around, but Joel can see through walls. I bet he hasn't flagged that up to any of the other people he lives within the communities. Oh, I can see through walls, by the way. Oh, well, you've clearly been bitten by one of the clickers then, so we're going to take you out and shoot you.
And more so, do you remember that time we got attacked and we couldn't see where they were behind the walls? I could have told you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's that kind of thing. Like, pretty much.
Exactly.
He'd be the first to go thrown over the wall in that case.
Exactly. And then when you're watching the cutscenes, when he's like, shh, wait, somebody's outside, Joel should be going, yeah, he's over there in the cutscenes. That's what broke that game for me. You know what I mean? I don't like it when they do that.
It's a bit silly, really.
Yeah, everybody can bang a drum and say it's game of the year. Fine. Play it all the way through and see if it doesn't break the medium. If you love it, fair play. It's all about experiences and opinions. But it isn't this groundbreaking game as far as I was concerned. And the emotions are missed on me. So there you have it. So what else you been playing then, Riley?
Flashpoint. Obvious Flashpoint Red River.
How you finding it?
Very, very, very good. Very enjoyable. Frustrating, but I've been playing it on hardcore. So there's no respawns, there's no minimap, there's no ammo, there's no HUD whatsoever.
Yeah.
All you rely on is the map.
Right.
And the communications that are being made between the headquarters and the squad. and I'm really enjoying it. We played it on co-op. I spent 2 weeks trying to do one mission because it was flipping ridiculous.
2 weeks doing one mission.
Yes. Silly mistakes, so I would like try it, not like constantly, would like to say, right, this mission on this day, would fail it, we're going, right, can't bother, because I spent like 45 minutes doing it. It's like, right, I'm annoyed, I'm going off. But I wouldn't rage, I'd just go, another day for this, and then just, but it took us like 2 weeks of doing the mission, like once a day for 2 weeks.
Are you stringing along your back catalogue until Grand Theft Auto 5 and the new consoles by any chance?
That's only my back catalogue I've got, actually. Oh, and there's Metal Gear Rising, which is fun. People always say, oh, it's not Metal Gear. Well, it is really, because of the title. There's no denying it. Because people say, oh, there's not stealth, and it's like, you've seen Metal Gear 4, you've seen Raiden fight Vamp, you know that's how he fights. He's not going to be sneaking around, he's going to be attacking, and that's what that game is. It's pretty much a game about Raiden, and it's just like it's just like Ninja Gaiden, really, but a Metal Gear character.
Metal Gear Bayonetta, as I was calling it.
Pretty much. I haven't played Bayonetta.
You played it, you played Metal Gear.
Oh, really? Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, that's pretty much the same game. It's just, yeah. That's what I was thinking when I was playing it. Oh, it's like Devil May Cry Bayonetta. It's that genre of game. One that can grow quite tedious. That is under the category of Pad Smashalicious. We need to get that copyrighted.
Pad Smashery. That's a good one.
Pad Smashalicious. It's delicious to smash your pad.
Not really, because it costs 30 quid for a new one.
Yeah, but the satisfaction you get when hearing them buttons bounce off the walls and, you know, that type of stuff. That's what I get. Angry duck. That's the situation we walk ourselves into.
The famous Angry Duck.
Yeah, Angry Duck is a legend in our household.
Yeah.
With my 7-month-old daughter running around as well, she keeps trying to pull like all the notices off where all my entertainment stand is. So it's all been elevated now, so it's eye height when you're walking around. So now people who weren't seeing it are going, oh, what's this Angry Duck? Well, it was this one time. So I now have to tell the story again. Because my daughter.
It's all good.
It is all good. But I've been playing a fair bit of my Vita. I've been playing a lot of games on that, in all honesty. A lot of games. Stardust Delta. Giving that a bast. I think it's Escape Plans on there. Retro City Rampage. I think that's what it's called. Machinarium. Downloaded Guacamelee. Miami Hotline. Did I say Unit 13?
No, you didn't. But Machinarium does look really good.
Yeah, that is really good. It's kind of like a Monkey Island type of game. Me and the legendary name of Warlock have both been comparing notes on that game. So we've both been trying to plough through it. So what else was I playing on there? Yeah, Rayman. Downloaded that.
Yeah.
I even had a little dabble on Lego Lord of the Rings. I'm having to read off a list
them
here.
games are awesome, Lego games. I'll fight anyone who says otherwise. They're really good.
You're going to fight me because I didn't like it, so I deleted it.
Oh, come on, Dave.
Can't say
I've been playing it and then let me see, it was really good. They are good, they're fun games. Lego Gandalf, I mean, who would mess with that? You can't pass, basically.
I think what the review said about the handheld versions, though, it feels like there's been a lot cut out of there. On the handheld versions, it didn't feel meaty enough, so I got rid of that. There's a couple of other games as well. I'm sure there was When Vikings Attack. That was a free one from the PlayStation Plus. And yeah, bit of Gravity Rush in there as well, just a slice of that. And I'm still working on Persona 4.
I've never played a Persona game, but they get loads of praise.
Yeah, Persona 4 is really, really good. I mean, that's why I'm just praying, because Atlas are due to be sold off by their parent company, and apparently Sega are looking to pick them up. Now, as much as I like Sega games, i.e. Sonic, I don't think they've got the capability to be able to handle, a Persona game.
I always thought of Sega just being poor, just like having no money and just putting the name on games just for people that was still here, just one guy in like a canvas tent with a little Sega stall going, hello.
The company's obviously been decimated since when they were back in the 16-bit days, but that version of the company there is like another department of Sega which basically owns every arcade machine on the face of the planet, so they have masses of money. It's just the actual video games they don't seem to have much part in anymore. I mean, Sonic, they've put Sonic on the Wii U, haven't they? As an exclusive, which means that
Really?
it's only on the Wii U.
Sega.
I
My
mean,
5-year-old brain's being blown right now.
exactly how
Someone told me Sega game will be exclusive for a Nintendo game, I'd just say it, turn away now.
Exactly. I mean, I'm going to annoy one of our listeners now, but it'll only be a matter of time before Sony's games are just like exclusive on Xbox or their corporation. Exactly. Just to annoy people. I do things deliberately anyway to annoy the PlayStation community, especially with this comment here. There's so much hate for the Xbox One is the reason why I'm going to buy that console. Because there's that many haters buying a PS4. I don't want to play no fucking games with you. You know what I mean? Oh, the Xbox is just safe. I don't want to be part of that community.
That's a good point. It's like, what community do you want to be a part of?
I want to be a community of I've got 56 friends on my friends list on my Xbox. I did a count. I did a cull as well with people that have been offline for a while. 56 friends. 32 of those people are confirmed for day one, Xbox One. And 28 of those people are buying Forza.
As your winter sorted.
Exactly. I don't need to buy a PlayStation 4. There's nothing on there that's appealing. Drive Club looks like pants. And anybody who's played it in any of the events has said it looks like pants. You know, a friend of ours has been over to an exhibition. He's been hands-on with it. And he said Drive Club is pants. It's a free-to-play model. And it just doesn't have that flash. You know, so I'm not buying one. Not for a while. I will move over and buy a PlayStation 4 at some point. As not to be hypocritical with what we do on our new show, I'm not going to talk about any PlayStation 4 exclusives unless I played them.
Yes.
I will talk about third-party games at my own machine. I will not be hypocritical, but I've made my decision. I'm going to wait for the PlayStation catalogue to build up before I make the purchase.
Because it takes a life age and then some for every exclusive to come out.
Yeah, precisely. It has to. And the community my old PSN account, when I logged into that account, there were so many people that have been off for months, 100 plus days, all this type of stuff. So all the people I used to play with on PSN have just vanished, or they've changed their PSN profile, or who knows what. But they've been offline for so long. Or it was Netflix, videos, online browsing. You know, when I was looking at that, I was severely thinking about, do I still buy both consoles?
Yeah.
So I've got a pre-order for both.
Right.
But I don't think the PlayStation 1, you know, I'm going to raffle that off, I think. Yeah. I'm definitely going to purchase one. No one is going to be like 20 plus people on day one buying an Xbox One. So I'll plug it in. There'll be, you know, probably too many people for the party, even for the Xbox One. But we're all going to be able to come together, talk about the new games, playing the new games, you know, going in Battlefield, examining that. That's my day one experience. Not standing in the queue outside our local retailer, lobbying to see if I can make any friends on PlayStation and migrating with my Xbox ecosystem. I'm sorry. What are you going for, Luke, before I get on my soapbox?
Xbox One. People I know are getting them, and I'm not. I don't want to sit there and be like, well, I'm getting a PS4, and then be a lonely gamer because I've been stubborn.
Yeah. I think I stole your thunder with the library bit as well, didn't I? Because we did discuss that.
Yeah, so even this one, your PS3, I got my first PS3 in 2009, so I had like I had some exclusives to fall back on. But then again, even then when I got one, even Infamous 1 and Heavy Rain, I don't even think it was out yet, so I still had some time before there was even some decent exclusives out. Xbox One has got the third party, and it's got the exclusives, and the amount of games going out for the Xbox One is ridiculous.
I'd say they're on an equal par with the games that are coming out for them, but it's the exclusives that Xbox have got that attract me more. That's the way I'm looking at it.
Is Titanfall an exclusive for Xbox, or is it both?
Yes. Well, they're saying it's going to be timed or whatever, but I sure saw somebody write somewhere once it's like a 24-month exclusivity deal to keep it with Xbox. So by then there'll be Battlefront out and there'll be other games that'll be swarming the market. You know, the Titanfall community they'll be diminished, or there'll be a sequel on the horizon. You know, there's going to be those type of things. If it's timed exclusives, if you look at what's coming, a lot of games, in my opinion, have got to get out of the way before Destiny arrives. because there's been, was it the Edge magazine did a report on Destiny? That game essentially can be played forever with the size of it and the exploration and things you could do. You got to remember there's that in the midst as well. And now, I know the flag's been tied quite strongly to the PS4. However, do you really think that Microsoft aren't going to get out their checkbook to ensure that they get some little exclusive gems just before launch on that game?
Depends what they do, really. I think the first 6 months of this new generation launch is going to be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah. It's going to be an equal. It's going to be an equal split. They're both probably going to turn out anywhere between 5 and 7 million units. So I reckon it'll be marginal by a few 100,000 come the end of the first quarter of release.
Mm.
And everybody will be going, this is going to win, that's going to win, it's going to win. And it'll be like, calm the fuck down and just wait for the games. Because that's really what it'll be. What will the ecosystems be like? Will they be sustained? We play online together. We play with people that, do stuff within the gaming industry. We've got old friends on there as well. I've got people I've been playing online with for like 4 or 5 years that I have never been in the same room with, but I know everything about them.
Yeah.
I'm not abandoning that. That's my online community and family. And 50% of that user list are, we sit in the lobby, I'm going to pick up this game. How are you? Flipping, oh yeah, I'm going to pick that up as well. And that's it, come that window, like that weekend is locked in with a new title. Staying up late, grabbing a couple of beers, playing with those guys online. I'm going to want that for this next generation. Just discussion points and how it's going to help us write some material.
I think the websites and magazines are going to be so busy. As soon as that generation hits, Twitter is going to be busy.
Well, that's the one, isn't it? So, we should talk really about our new home, shouldn't we?
Yes, we should, Dave. It's a new chapter in the life that is Britcast.
It is. Well, this is the last chapter in Britcast.
Yes.
The crew of the Britcast are moving on.
Yes, we are.
Me and Luke are actually moving over to noobfeed.com. We got approached by them. They wanted us to bring our wonderful charm and our singular wit to a podcast on their show.
Yes, indeed.
The name Britcast won't be coming with us. We've had a discussion. We're going to be known as Podcast Locked In going forward. We're going to have a nice fancy logo. We're going to have nice giveaways coming through as well for all you listeners out there. I think there's some T-shirts on the horizon and some Blu-rays, I do believe, coming our way that we're going to throw out with a few questions on the show.
Yeah, good times.
There is, yeah. Anybody who's listening to us and you picked up this from the link on the Twitter feed will remain the same. We're just going to change the @ to @LinkedIn. So, LinkedIn, locked in even. Christ, I'm losing my mind today. I forgot.
I'm giving you careers advice right now.
Yeah, careers advice. I've got to change my LinkedIn page to say now I'm a presenter doing this over here. But yeah, so anybody who's following us, you'll stay there. The logo will change. We'll be pumping out more of a news feed. There'll be more links to noobfeed.com. Come, listen to us. Comment over on the site, listen to the articles. They've got some great writers over there as well. We've got some good editorial pieces. So yeah, we're just moving on and up, and we're bringing all you guys along with us.
Good times. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to having you home and getting some comments and feedback. We've had a few on Britcast, but we're looking to really build a nice community.
That's it, yeah. Because we're out there and we've got some more guests in the pipeline as well, which we're not going to talk about while we're here. We have got some special guests coming up. Over a period of time, there's all negotiations and there's a lot of embargoes in the way, and there's something big quite happening in November as well, as anybody who's listening to this should know already. So things are building.
Yes, they are.
So Luke, this has got to change your usual little speech here. How can people get in contact with just us for the time being?
Just us is me at Luke Riley. Good day to all. At YouGamers on Twitter. And Dave's Twitter is
at Remedy Live. You had to think about that for a minute, didn't you?
No, I was giving you the chance to see it. I'm glad you caught on to that.
I did, yeah. It was and Dave's is, yeah, at Remedy Live. Well, I'll announce the new locked in Twitter thing a bit later on when that's all confirmed. But you'll be able to find us on noobfeed.com.
Yes, you will.
You won't be able to get rid of us that easy. Britcast has been laid to rest, but it's served its purpose. We are upgrading.
Think of it like a Doctor Who generation. The same thing, but a little bit different.
Except Luke will still be wearing a deerstalker and smoking a pod.
Waistcoat.
Fully engaged. And I'll be in my standard issue blue jeans, black t-shirt. and expensive like Air Jordans.
Like Steve Jobs.
Kind of, but just not as rich.
Mm.
Or as smart.
He was smart, I suppose, yeah.
Yeah, I'm quite smart, but I don't think I'm Steve Jobs smart. No, I wouldn't say that. I can't give myself that credit. I can't back that up. So there we go. So this was the last ever Britcast, wasn't it?
Yes, it was indeed.
Am I cracking you up again?
Yes, because you go on a tangent. We always do.
We have to. Tangents are the place where we reside.
We're like a review, what they're called? A tributary? Tributary? I don't know what they're called. That's gone back to GCSE geography, I can't remember.
I was going to say, if you ever spot a tangent and you see a tent, that's probably where we are.
Yes, indeed.
Exactly, camping out over there.
Yeah.
But anyway, thank you to all you guys listening. And this was the last ever Britcast, but we will return very soon, so don't go far away.
Goodbye, one and all.
One day I shall come back. Yes, I shall come back. Until then, there must be no regrets, no tears, no anxieties. Just go forward in all your beliefs and prove to me that I am not mistaken in mine.
Luke, I'm pretty sure there's somebody talking inside of that blue box.
It probably was, Dave.
Hold on a second. Whoa, this thing is a lot bigger on the inside.
Well, if you like that, Dave, you're going to love this.